super windy outside, and I was afraid you weren't going to be able to hear me, so that's why I decided to be inside at my home office. But I do still have some like bits of the outdoors in here with me, and if you can see behind me, I have my lovely nature posters, so that will kind of get us in the groove of being outside. Please share in the comments any special skills and talents that you have, because that is part of the Between Earth and Sky Firefly Award. And I'm just going to continue going on. So for the Firefly Award, you need to learn about a couple of things. First, we're going to learn about how seeds travel, and then we are going to learn about some texture, which are going to be super fun. And there are tons of textures in nature, and I wish I could actually be outside for like hours to show you, but we don't have that much time. But you can do it on your own, so that'll be really cool. Like I said, this is the Firefly Award. The first award that I did a couple of weeks ago for Between Earth and Sky was the Blue Bucket Award. If you haven't seen that yet, go back in our videos, and it is in there somewhere, so you can go ahead and find that. And they're also, I believe, on YouTube now, so if you haven't seen it, look it up in the videos that we have up. And then the final award is the Clover Award, and for that, you should probably go to the volunteer toolkit and get some ideas on how to finish that up, and that'll help you do your Take Action project. Okay, so we're going to get started. So, how do seeds travel? Does anybody know? I'll wait for a few seconds and see if anybody wants to put that in the comments. But what are some ways that seeds travel? Do they take a plane or a train? That'd be kind of cool. I guess in some ways they do. Hi, Chelsea. Yes, you are very good at annoying your best friend, Chelsea. How's it going? And Annabelle wants to know my name. My name is Chelsea. Hi, Annabelle. Alrighty. So what ways do seeds travel? Birds. I see birds. That is a way that seeds travel. Blowing dandelions. Yes, by wind. So I'll have some visuals for you. I don't have all of them because it's not the right time of year yet. But here we go. So there are a couple of ways that seeds travel, and one of them, like somebody already said, is the wind. And one of the things that we know really well that travel in the wind are dandelions. So I did go out in my yard, and I did pick a dandelion. It's pretty. It's actually my camp name from when I worked at Girl Scout camp. It was dandelion, but it got shortened to dandy, so that's a fun fact for you. But dandelions, right now, when they look like this, do they travel, or do they have to look like something else first? Anybody know? So if you've ever been out in your yard and you saw this cool little like puffball of cloud on top of a dandelion stem, a lot of people will pick them up and they'll blow them and they'll make a wish, and all those seeds will travel, and that's how dandelions travel. And there's a bunch of other plants that travel the same way. So when we're done here, I want you to look that up, and I'm sure you can find something. Or if you go outside and just search, you might be able to find some stuff already like that. Okay. So that is one way that seeds travel. The other way, like somebody else said, was by birds or by animals. And so when birds help seeds travel, what they do a lot of times is they're eating berries. And then when they eat it and they digest it, the seeds will go through their system and then they just poop it out and it lands where it lands. And then hopefully that plant will grow that way. Other ways are like when squirrels, did you guys know that like squirrels like to collect acorns or walnuts or any other things? I went out and I picked some for you. So right here, this is a walnut. There we go. That's a walnut. And then I have a hickory nut. Kind of cool. And some acorns. Here we go. So when animals like squirrels, they collect acorns for the winter and stuff, they'll burrow them down in the ground, they'll plant them down in the ground. That way they know where they are for later. And sometimes the squirrels forget where they put all of their special treats like acorns and walnuts. And when they forget about them or they don't eat all of them, those plants will then start to grow. Those seeds will start to grow. And so like for an acorn, if a squirrel forgets an acorn and it starts to grow, what does it turn into? What kind of tree does an acorn come off of? Anybody know? All right. If you said an oak tree, you were correct. All right. So we talked about wind. We talked about animals. We also have some seeds that travel by water. Now, I don't have any good examples on me right now, but can you think of any plants that grow in the water that would travel by water? There's one. It's tall and green, but it has like a brown hot dog looking thing at the end. Do you know what that is? It's a cattail. So things like cattails or lily pads or lotus flowers, those things grow by traveling in the water. Okay. And then we also have some seeds that travel by bursting. And I really wish I could have found some, but there are none out at this time. There's a cool plant called jewelweed. And after we're done here, I want you to look it up. You can like find a YouTube video of it. And I want you to just look up jewelweed bursting. Jewelweed is a pretty flower. It comes in a couple different colors. Sometimes there are jewelweed that the flower is orange with some like darker red speckles on it, and sometimes they're a pale yellow. And it's also it's a really cool plant because sometimes like if your skin itches a little bit from like walking through either some nettles or something like that, if you rub it on there, it will help it stop itching. But when the seed pod bursts, all the seeds just kind of go everywhere, and a lot of other plants will grow up from where those seeds burst. So jewelweed, look that up. It's really cool. The videos are only a couple of seconds long, so definitely look up jewelweed bursting. And then the final way I'm going to talk about that seeds travel are by you and me, by people. So does anybody have a farm around their house? Or is anybody growing a garden this year? Me and my husband, we're working on our garden, and we are growing some corn. You know, we planted it a couple of weeks ago. Let me show you what it looks like now. Okay, so this is our corn that we're going to have in our garden. Ooh, sorry, it moves funny. But yeah, this is our corn, and people like you and me can help plants grow. Lydia is growing strawberries, and Campbell grows herbs. That's really cool. I also have a lot of herbs for my garden, and I want to do strawberries, but I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. Okay, so those are all the ways seeds travel. If you have any other cool examples of how seeds travel that I didn't think of or that I didn't say, I want you to put it in the comments, and then I'll look at them later. But that's really cool. Let's see. Rachel said we planted flowers. Elizabeth says that she has a garden, so that's really cool. Anything else? Lydia's great-grandfather owns a flower farm in Texas. Wow. You guys are cool. You guys are cool. All right. So those are the ways that seeds travel, and definitely go outside and look at the different things around you and try to figure out how they got there. Was that tree planted there? Was that tree an accident because a squirrel forgot an acorn? Who knows? So make sure you check that stuff out. The next thing I'm going to talk about is textures in nature, and there's a lot of different textures in nature. And I know I did in a posts yesterday say that you would need a piece of paper, so just a blank piece of paper, standard printer paper, and some crayons or crowns, or however you say them, depending on where you're from. And what I want you to do, if you are watching this from outside, you could go around and get some rubbings, like leaf rubbings and bark rubbings. And I have some stuff with me that I'm going to do some rubbings with, so hopefully you'll be able to see them. But this is what we really want you to do. We want you to explore the different textures that are out there in nature. And then I want you to show us by putting it on that piece of paper. And when you're done, I want you to post it in the comments of what it looks like. So I have a couple of different things that I grabbed. This one is not going to end up on this piece of paper because it's not going to show up very well. But here's my first texture. Who knows what this is? Right there. So this is really soft. It holds a lot of moisture. It grows all over the place, especially in the woods or in my driveway, because that's where I found this. Anybody know what that is? Moss. Yes, good job, Campbell. This is moss. Awesome. So moss is a very soft texture. It's not going to come out very well on my paper. I tried it the other day. It just turned into a blob. So I'm not going to put that on there, but moss is one of those textures that are really soft. Another thing, I was trying to find a spot yesterday or 2 days ago when I was out scoping for places to find stuff, and there was some dead logs, and those dead logs were kind of squishy. So if you find a dead log, I want you to go see if it's squishy. And do you guys know why it would be squishy? It's because it's decomposing. I know you guys are still there, but my screen just went funny. So we're going to see how this goes. Okay. The next texture that I have for you. This is a random leaf from some plant that was growing in my flower bed. And I don't know if you can really see it, but it's a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy. So there are a lot of plants that are kind of fuzzy. They have these really fine hairs on them. Okay, and I am going to do a rubbing of this one. I don't think the fuzziness is going to show, but we'll see what happens. So let's see if we can do this. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to put my leaf right there. And I'm going to pick a color. I'm going to go with green. And I am going to just rub the green. And then, look at that. You can kind of tell it's fuzzy, but maybe that's just the picture quality. I'm not sure. So that's my first rubbing. Okay. Another thing that I found out in my yard today was this piece of bark. Okay. And it's kind of dry and crinkly. It's kind of cool. See, there's like some lichen on there. If you guys tuned in from my first video, I talked about lichen. So I'm going to do a rubbing of that. Grab that under there. There we go. Gonna get another color. And I'm just gonna go like that. And voila. You can kind of see it where there's cracks between it, but there are some lines that showed up. Okay. Lots of different textures. I thought this one was really cool. It's like it's just a stick, but if you look really close at it, it looks kind of scaly, doesn't it? What do you think? Okay, I'm gonna do this one too. I'm sorry for moving the camera around. I hope nobody is getting motion sick. Okay. Cool. So you can kind of see the little scaly bits. Everything's backwards on here, so when I try to point, it's not working too well. So we've already seen like 3 textures, and I'm gonna let you guys do your own rubbings. I'm gonna stop doing my own rubbings because I did one the other day. So mine looks like this. That's what I ended up with. And a lot of them look the same, but I did a tree, and you can see the rings from the tree. So that's the different textures that you can find. I want you to comment the different textures that you find and show me your pictures. I also had this rock that I picked up. And you can see that it's lumpy and bumpy and all that good stuff right there. So that's a good thing you can do. I also found this dead leaf, and it's different from the other leaf I had because it's nice and smooth. There's no hairs on it, but it has like a jagged texture along the edge. So whatever you want to use to rub, that's fine. All right. So that's really all I have for you. And just a little recap of what we did. We talked about how seeds move, and then we talked about different textures in nature. And I also had you comment your special skills and talents because that is also part of the Firefly Award for Between Earth and Sky. Just a reminder, the first award, which was the Blue Bucket Award, I did a couple weeks ago. So if you look back in our videos, you can find that there and watch it. Clover Award, to do that, go ahead and look on the volunteer toolkit and look for some ideas on how to complete your Take Action Award. And once you've completed the Blue Bucket Award, the Firefly Award, and the Clover Award, that's when you will earn your Between Earth and Sky journey. If you enjoyed this video or are not a Girl Scout, go ahead and go to girlscouts.org/join to learn more about becoming a Girl Scout. Tune in later today at 2 p.m. to follow my best friend, Chelsea Vogelbacher from Toledo, and she will be doing the Outdoor Art Creator Badge for brownies, and she'll be doing some fairy houses with you, which are going to be really fun, so make sure you tune in for that. And finally, make sure you share how you did these activities in the comments below. All right, you guys have a good day.